Welcome back to Build. I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper, and today I'm sitting down with Queen Latifah. The award-winning musician, actor, and entrepreneur is here to discuss some of her upcoming projects and Queen Collective, a program developed in partnership with Procter & Gamble, aimed at accelerating gender and racial equality behind the camera. Take a look.
I heard there was some filmmakers in the house today. Are we affecting the type of change that we know is necessary? Hey, Ma, nice to meet you.
Queen Collective is P&G and also Tribeca and then Queen Latifah. It's an amazing partnership that is empowering women of color to make our films.
I feel like we need those voices, we need to hear them, and they're probably the right people to bring those to the screen, so it's great.
The mentorship, I think, is about opening doors for new voices to find a seat.
That's the biggest thing, is giving us a taste of what it's actually like to be a working filmmaker.
Put your hands together for Queen Latifah. Woo! Woo!
Rock.
I love having you here at Build. I'm so excited. I know everybody in the audience is, so thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Look at all these wonderful faces.
I know.
We got Spidey.
Including the Spider-Man face.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to talk about the Queen Collective because I remember hearing about this last summer when you first announced that this was happening and being like, oh, this is such an amazing and much needed thing. So what was the catalyst? What was the reason behind starting this for you?
I did a panel with Mark Pritchard, who runs P&G and all of their advertising. A lot of it was about the disparity of in advertising from women, and they're such a big buying power and yet not represented properly in front of the camera or behind the camera. So film is also the same way. And after that conference, I said to them, we got to do something together. So we came up with the Queen Collective, which is an initiative, as you said, to try to get a few more female directors out there than what we have right now. Procter & Gamble sponsored it. Hulu is distributing it. Tribeca Film Festival came on board as mentorship, as help, as production, to kind of just lend an ear and be there for our directors, to kind of be with them every step of the way. And so here we are. Yeah. The film festival's here. It's going to air tomorrow night, and we're just really excited about it. Excited for these two women, that their films are coming to the screen.
And based on your experience in the industry, what is the barrier to entry? Why is there just such a shortage of women of color behind the camera?
Because they're not given an opportunity, straight up. It's really about, it costs money to make movies. And I mean, you can scrounge and try to make it yourself, but it really is it costs money, and it's also a studio thing. So really, they just need the opportunity. It's not just women of color; it's women in general, and then women of color, which is even more challenging. So there's so many stories that are not being told because they're not being told by women. And we have a lot of stories to tell in every genre of filmmaking, and we want to see that happen. It's crazy how many people heard about this initiative, and people were coming out of the woodworks, even people on my set, people in my crew that are women who want to do films, and they're like, so when is it possible? And I wish we had more. I wish we could finance everyone, because there's so many women out there who want to make films and just need that opportunity.
What was that selection process like? How did you narrow it down to two?
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. There was so
imagine.
many. But the folks at Tribeca really helped us narrow it down. They had so many to choose from, and we narrowed it down to 5, and then we narrowed it down to 2. And I'm telling you, it was hard. It was tough. But we wanted to see their stories told. We wanted to see all of the stories told, but we couldn't tell every story. So we had to start somewhere, and these two are the catalyst for this whole initiative.
Speaking of these two, let's introduce them. We
two
have B.
amazing
Monet
women.
and Haley Elizabeth Anderson.
Hey, hey, hey! Our directresses.
I was talking to them backstage, and I was like, this is so cool. They're like, it is so cool. Like, it's such an amazing opportunity. B. Monet, I'm going to start with you. Tell us a little bit about your film.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name's B. Monet, and my film is called Ballet After Dark. It's about a woman who unfortunately was sexually abused, and she uses dance as a form of her expression to also help other sexual abuse survivors in Baltimore. So very glad to have told her story.
And how did you find that story, actually?
I found it through my friend on Instagram. I was like, oh my God, you're telling this story about this woman in Baltimore. Like, I need to know what is going on. So that was my catalyst for first finding it out, and then just being so obsessed with, like, how do I tell this woman of color's story? Because I feel like we don't always get a chance to not just be shown as trauma survivors, but also as victors. So.
And so what does being part of the Queen Collective mean for you? Going through this process, what has been something that really has impacted you as a filmmaker?
I think you are the captain of the ship, and I think it's so amazing that, you know, Queen Latifah, Procter & Gamble, and also like Tribeca has this amazing initiative that really will help to pay it forward and also give this an opportunity for other you know, aspiring and emerging directors. I think it's not just about us, but about collectively seeing ourselves on screen. So yeah.
And Haley? Haley Elizabeth Anderson, tell us about your film.
My film is called If There Is Light. It follows a family from Georgia that's navigating the shelter system in New York.
And is this a real family?
Yes. This is a
Yeah,
real
because I
family.
saw the cast names and they were all related. So
Yes.
how did you come in contact with this family?
We just went out looking, and we found them outside of an intake center, and we just talked to them. It was very, very raw way to introduce yourself, but I knew when I saw them this was the family I wanted to follow.
And definitely probably something that's affecting a lot of families.
Yes, absolutely, and that's why I wanted to tell this story, because sometimes you feel invisible when you're in this situation, and you can't always tell what people are going through. So that was very important for me.
Yeah, and I know part of this process was that they were partnered up with different producers. So for you, was there a producer that you met with that really sort of helped you hone in and help your film?
Yes, my friend Swetha Raghunathan, which I wish she was here. She's amazing. She's extremely smart. I knew I wanted to work with a very smart, intelligent woman, and we bonded so much on this project. She helped me in so many ways. Like, it would not have gotten done without her.
This is like an experience that, I mean, it's once in a lifetime, I think, for a lot of people. So what does that mean for you to be able to help facilitate this?
I feel like I'm in the audience just watching. I'm just listening. Like, I'm so proud and I'm so excited. For me to help facilitate this, it means, you know, thank God. I thank the good Lord for putting me in a position to be able to help do this. But it's really about allowing them to tell their story. It's really not so much about me. I'm just here to do whatever I can to make sure that they can tell their own stories. And I'm telling you, when you see these movies, you're going to be like, wow. They blow me away in their own ways. And I love the journey. I love watching Ballet After Dark. It makes me feel a certain way. And then I watch, I'm sorry, I can't even get it out of my mouth. I'm just like visualizing it so much. There's Light is just so powerful because you see this family, you hear the stories, and it's just like you're almost like a fly on the wall in the room of everything happening. It's not like they're paying attention to you. It's like you really just get insight into, it's like a slice of life, and you're just on this ride with them, and you come to feel these people in your heart, and you're rooting for them, and you want things to work out, and they may or may not, you know, and that's life. But it allows you a peek into their lives and allows you to think differently. And I love the fact that they've created projects that make me think differently, feel differently, and even motivate me to want to do more.
And do you feel like we're seeing more and more of these narratives being told? I mean, I like to think that we're seeing more female narratives, people of color narratives breaking through. Do you think there's still a lot of work to be done, though?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tons and tons of work. Because the truth is, no one person or peoples are all the same. You have a million different stories to tell. You have an active imagination, and you should be able to tell all those different sides of who you are and let them come to fruition. You know, so it may be a sci-fi movie, it may be a fantasy movie, it may be a horror film, it may be, you know, another doc, it may be something romantic, who knows? But whatever that story is, if you can tell it, you should be able to, and you shouldn't be hindered by your, you know, being a woman or being a woman of color.
That's why I was happy that these films are going to premiere at Tribeca tomorrow. How exciting is that? Because it is a space that so many people pay attention to when people fly to New York to see these films. And I know that as a collective, the festival is trying to push more original narratives out. I think I read that this year's film, like 29% are from directors of color and 40% are by female directors. So it seems like the dial's moving in the right direction. So your timing is really, really perfect.
Well, I think it's a big culture shift happening right now in general, with Me Too, with Time's Up, with, you know, we just have to stay in it, you know, and it's a great time to change things and change ways of thinking, not just for our girls, really for our young boys as well as girls, to see what women can do and to change the thought processes that have been kind of, just put upon them for so long, that they have to be a certain way. They have to be a certain type of guy. This is a guy's guy, and you're not a guy if you're not this. Come on, man. You know what? That's kind of antiquated. You can't raise a girl child with that attitude. And you really can't raise a boy child properly with that attitude, because the truth is we're all human. We all have to give and take. There's strong and tough, and there's softer sides, and we have to master both of those things and everything in between. So the more we get to show that in its actuality, the better it is for everybody.
I think one of the reasons I have always loved and supported you in your career is because
It's because I'm dope,
It's
and I
because you're
spit the
really
hotness. No, I'm
dope.
playing.
You can keep going.
It just felt right.
You
It
and
just
I,
felt right.
T-U-I.
That's how you nutty.
Well, because you're always in the community, you're always representing, you're always giving back. And I just read, or not just read, a couple months ago about you giving back to Newark, where you're from, and the affordable housing efforts that you're pushing forward there. And that is huge, because people have just let that community's housing just go into disarray.
I grew up in Newark, and that's really how I found this project. I love real estate, I love design, architecture, and I love Newark. And I love the greater Newark area. I grew up in Newark, East Orange, Irvington, and I had offices in Jersey City for years and years, since I was a teenager, pretty much. So I love these communities, and being in Newark, knowing what it was when I grew up in it, when it was a city of over 1 million people, a thriving, metropolis, if you will, and kind of watching it decline and go through its ups and downs, and then watching it bounce back. I want to be a part of that. And I want Newark citizens to be able to still be a part of it. I don't want Newark to be gentrified and them not to be able to live in their own city where they grew up and what they love. And I've always wanted to just be able to live in Newark. So I got to build something I can live in. You know what I mean? If it's not there, I got to build it. But I saw this block, and there were a bunch of empty lots on it, and there were a bunch of abandoned houses. And I'm like, I just need to get this block. And I started to acquire these properties over a time and hooked up with a great developer, GS Developers. They're from Newark. They started from the bottom. Now they have a great construction company, and we're all kind of coming together. And Ross Brock is being very helpful with the city-owned property. And, between us all, we got this, and now we're a go. So we'll see what it looks like in 2 years.
Has the city been supportive? Has it helped raise more interest?
Oh, Ross is the mayor. Ross Brock is the mayor of Newark, just in case you don't know. But he's always been supportive. Newark has been supportive. Everything has flowed through the council and flowed just fine in terms of passing this whole project through. It's something I think they're very proud of. I think it's something Cory Booker is even proud of, because he's been our mayor for a long time, and he's always come to events that we've had, because we had a scholarship foundation in my brother's name. So every year we do a banquet. He'd come by the banquet, So we're connected to the community, and we've been supporting Newark students and Irvington and East Orange, New Jersey students for a very long time. So it's just a normal thing for us to continue to help to grow our community.
Do you see it as it's your responsibility, or just, because it's always been something that's a part of your career, I feel like.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a normal thing. I watched my mother do it as a teacher in Irvington High. I watched her give. I watched her build. I watched her contribute to the community, and it's just something we just know it. Like when I started rapping, we would have toy drives at the high school during Christmas. We give away turkeys for Thanksgiving. We supported any organization we've needed to, and I support various organizations. It's not just my charity that I give to. I give to tons of different charities, whoever needs me and needs my time and needs my resources. Alicia's Keep a Child Alive. It makes sense. Why not give to it? It's already up and running. I don't have to start it. I don't have to do nothing but get some money over there so you can keep doing what you do. But that's all. We just want to continue to help give to our community, because we've been blessed to be put in the position we're in.
Yeah. And you can't do everything, because you got to manage your time, because we've been talking about your philanthropy.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No, and you especially, you are EPing so many different projects. You have projects across different networks. I just saw that you are working on developing a mini-series about salt and pepper.
Damn, who is giving all of the press releases to the people? I ain't even got a whole lock on this before we giving it all.
I just went into Google, and then I put in Queen Latifah.
Yes,
All
we're
this
helping.
wonderful
We're
stuff came
helping
up.
the amazing queens from Queens, original queens, S&P, tell their story, the Run DMC story, and on and on. You know, we're helping to bring to the screen. We just finished the Clark Sisters story, which will come on a Lifetime soon, and super excited about that. We're doing a huge musical on Netflix, a hip hop musical. So a lot of people are going to be looking to get casted in that now that I just said that. Damn.
Just
We
give me
ready
a
for that.
second.
Not quite ready yet. Just wait a couple more months.
How do you choose these projects? Because they, like I said, they're across different networks and different opportunities. What kind of draws you to something and says, yeah, I'm putting the Queen stamp on that?
Well, some things are for Queen Latifah proper, and some things are for Flavor Unit, our company. And Flavor Unit, which is our company, our entertainment company, covers a lot of ground. So, you know, it's really about part of it was really about helping other people get a connection, get distribution for their projects. And so some things go to so many different networks, and they go to Netflix, and there are different kinds of films. Some are real hood, you know what I mean, that maybe I don't need to be in, but the story still needs to be told, you know what I mean? So we have people who bring us great scripts and they want to shoot their movies, and we don't have to put our stamp all over it or control it, but we need to make sure that they have an avenue to distribute it. So we'll connect them, you know, with Netflix or different networks, and we'll make it happen.
And you're still on Star. You're going to be back for the next season if it gets picked up?
Probably.
Yeah.
I can't see me not leaving the show right now, unless they don't pay what I ask them to pay me, because, you know, I'm worth it. It's like, no, I'm just playing. No, I'm just joking. This is starting to get fun. I better stop having too much fun. For Fox called me like, we got a problem? No, I love Star. I love working with everyone I work with. The girls are amazing. Our guys are amazing. The music is amazing. It's a lot of fun doing that show. And next year is going to be even juicier. It's going to get even juicier. If it's not juicy enough now, it's wait till you see it next year. We're already talking about it. So I think I expect to be back, and I think the show expects to be back. And it's going to be a crazy ride for the rest of this season. You have to tune in and watch the show. Sex, murder, and mayhem. That's all I got to say. Romance for the streets. It's going to keep coming.
And singing. I love when you get to sing on Star, because I haven't got to get to one of your shows. I know you also do shows all over. And so that's where I get my Queen Latifah singing.
Well, I'm glad you do. I always feel like I'm singing in Carlotta character. I'm like, I don't know who is singing these songs. These are songs I probably would never sing or even think of singing, but it's fun to sing songs that Carlotta get to sing. You know, it'd be gospel one second and hip hop the next minute, and I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I feel like you're versatile like that. It's jazz one second, it's hip hop one second.
You're right. I might leave here right now and go do some jazz.
I mean, you could do it right here. You've got it. I'll just snap in the back.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Skip-a-doo, hap-a-doo, kitakaboo, badaboo. All right, y'all, stop.
And before we go, I have to ask, just for me personally, Hulu put up All of Living Single. So I got to rewatch it as an adult. And
And a lot of people did. Yay!
I watched it every week with my family growing up, and watching it as an adult is so much. It was so ahead of its time. And I realized that I sort of grew up to be Maxine, for better or worse. I don't know,
Nice!
just a little bit. I
love it.
So I know a couple years ago you said that, you know, you may be working on bringing it back, so where are we at with that?
Well, we still are working on bringing it back. You know, we're just trying to get he in the back of the room like silent pounds. I love it. Just trying to see who wants to get into it and how we can rework it to make it work for right now and where it will live. So we are definitely still working on that amongst the 800,000 other things we got going on. But Living Single is a passion project for us. It's like I would love to. We all still love each other. We all still talk to each other. TC sent us a video, just something from online, and we all texted it to each other and was dying laughing, texting. You know, people will castigate you. They will prolicize your name. They will satellitize you. I was like, what is this lady saying? But it was so funny. We just like, we do that every once in a while, just go on Living Single group text.
Oh, that makes my heart
It's
so
so
warm
funny.
knowing that there's a Living Single group text.
It is, and they funny as hell. You
I'm
gotta
sure they
see
are.
what, like Erica and Kim, like they are crazy. The stuff that they come up with, and TC, like running jokes. Coles, mostly Coles. Fields is there, but Coles, you know, and Erica, those two. Your Max is crazy.
Max, I just need to see what happens with Max and Kyle. That's all I'm saying. So even if it's not
You need to have a
whole
baby. They should have grandkids by now. Like,
that's what I'm
what's up?
saying. It's been 20 years or something.
You know what I mean?
25 years. Damn.
Exactly. So
We're getting
make
old.
it.
Well, before we go, I know our audience has a couple questions for you. So who do we have first? Oh, little guy. What's up, Spider-Man?
Hey, Spidey.
What's your favorite movie that you made?
What's my favorite movie that I've made? And what's your name?
Try.
Tron? You did, Trey, you did really good asking that question. I like that. Thank you so much for asking. It's probably a movie you can't see yet. I think one of my favorites is Set It Off, and oddly enough, another one that you can see is Last Holiday.
Oh,
Girls Trip was pretty fun too. I don't think you see that yet either.
Yeah, on that note, when's the Flossy Posse coming back?
The Flossy Posse is coming back, and we waiting. We all waiting to get back together. You know what I mean? So soon, everything is in the works. We're just waiting for it to happen.
Cool. Good to hear. And last question?
Hi, I'm Erin from
Hi.
South Orange, New Jersey.
Hey now, Jersey in the building.
What is one or two of the most valuable lessons you learned as a woman in your career?
Whew. As a woman in my career. These are some deep questions that I get. Wow, I get the heavy questions. Well, I think some of the most important things that I've learned are some of the things that I learned growing up. And it's all of the values that my parents instilled in me and the constant feeding of self-esteem, high self-esteem, and working on your confidence and self-love. All those things are extremely important, and they carry you. And faith in God. Those things have carried me throughout my career. Confidence, self-confidence as a woman, we always struggle with that. And it's not something that when you feel so confident, like it lasts. It doesn't last. So you have to sort of maintain it. I have to make sure I think positive, make sure I surround myself with positive people, or look for beautiful things in life. If it's a book, there's nothing wrong with a self-help book. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. Nothing wrong with talking to someone, therapy, whatever works, that works for me. And so it may work for other people, but I have no shame in my game when it comes to that. I'm okay asking for help when I need it, and checking in with myself and make sure my self-esteem is in the right place, because the more that I do that, the better decisions that I make. When I'm not in the right place, I don't always do so great. And so I try to check in on that. And really just, honoring women, respecting the women that I came from, my grandparents, my mother, and my aunts and cousins, and giving that back, offering that back, and feeding that to other people, to younger up-and-coming girls and women who really need that. Just complimenting a woman one day. If her dress looks nice, say it looks nice. If her hair looks, say, oh, you never know when you can make someone's day, So I find it's much better to, be kind and nice to people than it is to just, she would think she all, I never did like girls like that who were just like, your instant reaction when you see something nice is to get negative. Your instant reaction needs to get positive, So if you recognize that in yourself, then you need to change the way you're thinking, So it's a constant checking in on, am I in the right place? Am I thinking right? Is this right thinking? And working on it. It's all right. Yeah. I don't know if that was a good answer, but
No, that's a good answer because, your light radiates and we see you sharing it all the time, including with these two filmmakers and the Queen Collective. And so you're saying it, but you're also living it.
Receive
we can
it.
see that, yeah.
So why not give it back?
We can see that. Well, guys, both films, Ballet After Dark and If There Is Light, will make their world premiere tomorrow at the Tribeca Film Festival, happening now through May 5th. And you can watch them on Hulu this Saturday, April 27th. Queen, you're my queen. And
Thank you.
it's so nice to meet you. Guys, give it up for Queen Latifah.
Thank you so much.